Chance, I bet you didn't know that I was a sort of a budget David Attenborough after seeing that kind of video.
That does not shock me in the slightest. Honestly, I'm just like surprised you don't pull out more like impersonations out on a day-to-day basis, because I know they're all on point. But either way, just even the graphic that we just had, right? Like Methods versus Crim6, two of the beasts that we have in the CDL, former teammates that love to trash talk and love to go at each other. Like, I'm just prepared for the match, Miles. Like, the faster we can get this going, the happier I'm going to be, because the way I see it, one way or the other, it's going to be a bloodbath.
It's going to be an absolute bloodbath. Well, we're going to work through our game fuel keys to victory. There is still a slight delay on getting this game underway. Again, we are working through that as quickly as possible. But let's have a quick look at the game fuel keys to victory for Dallas Empire. There is a heavy refocus on the hard points, Chance. 1 and 3 in hard points versus the mighty Toronto Ultra.
And of course, you got to keep in mind that 1 and 3 record. 2 of those matches, again, that Toronto was able to win was a combined victory total of a 9-point discrepancy. So it's 1 and 3, yes, but they are hyper close. But I will say there is definitely time spent on the side of the Dallas Empire camp to make sure that they actually do focus on the hard points. They are going to throw a different map into the mix. We're going to actually see Azir Cave is going to be map number 1. It's Dallas that have effectively have chosen to play that more or less, and that's a map that they have an 0-6 record on. But of course, despite the fact that Dallas have not won that map all year, it has been a talking point for a couple months. A ton of their losses are incredibly close, so the record itself does not look great, but 4 of those 6 losses are within 25 points. They're always knocking on the devil's door, but for me, that just ties in perfectly. It's a map that the Empire have been like struggling to win, barely been losing the games, and it's been a Toronto team that has barely been winning every single hard point seemingly that they play.
Incredibly how close it could possibly be. And champs here at playoffs now, everything counts. Well, we're going to the game fuel keys to victory now for the Toronto Ultra. Now, Chance, it's close. And the cigars have been there a couple of times now, but they got to keep it going to come out hot. Imagine if they can manage to take a series from the get-go without having to worry about these tight finishes. 6 straight match wins since the start of the Toronto home series. That is an 18-9 game record overall.
I mean, exactly. They got to come out hot, right? This is not the time. This is not the tournament where you can afford to slow down at all. I think we even saw just earlier on the graphic, right? Like, this is a match you win. You get that guaranteed $600,000 in the back pocket. And, of course, the opportunity to get even more. But really, Kleenex, by the way, super interesting player to highlight. He made his name for himself at Champs last year. Dude comes out of nowhere, starts dropping bombs left and right, and literally, basically based off that one tournament, Toronto Ultra were like, you know what? When I see talent, I'm going to grab it. And they took this young man, and he was on the bench for so long, put him on that main roster. Now it's his tournament once again, leading the team in KD. He's been dropping bombs left and right, and by far, player to watch. Maybe not in the searches, because that's got to go away with Cammy, but overall, player to watch. Kleenex has been that guy.
Yeah, he's been an amazing player. And again, Kleenex, a player who came in from the amateur scene really to qualify at Champs last year, turn a lot of heads and make a very, very dangerous run. And look where he is now, Toronto Ultra, playing in Champs once again from the professional standpoint. Mate, it's been a wild run. You think of all those amateur players that have risen from the amateur leagues, now from challengers making their way. And think of Hollow, Draza, Awakening, Mac Melts. The player list goes on. We've been bringing you the very best CDL competition all year long at the pro level and here with challengers, but we wanted to show some love to that third rung of the ladder as well. We spent some time checking out the PS4 tournament's Call of Duty monthly finals for Europe. Take a look.
Welcome to the PS4 Tournament's Open Series, Call of Duty Monthly Finals for Europe. We started with 128 teams. Now we're down to the top 8, ready to battle it out. Reigning champs Milza and Zoa qualified once again, proving their first title was no fluke.
Mills and Zoa gonna take them down 2-0 in an incredible performance and move on to the semifinal.
And prove it they did, stomping out Bonds and Wilco without breaking a sweat in their first round, 2-0.
The second round proved to be a challenge for Milza and Zoa, as Rafi Harry pulled ahead in the first map with a dominating 6-1 victory.
But the map Bacon is a whole other beast.
What a perfect game, just start to finish.
And Milza and Zoa were able to shake off the L and turn the tables on Rafi with a 6-1 win.
Game number 3. This is our first game 3 of the entire tournament so far.
Rafi was not going down without a fight in the final map, as they clawed their way back from a 4-1 deficit to tie it up at 5.
Milza and Zoa gonna take this series. And now in our final, we have Wonwoo versus Milza and Zoa. This is going to be a lit game.
It was a throwback to the quarterfinals for Milza and Zoa, making quick work of their first map.
There it is. That's the game.
Hackney Yard brought a change of pace for Milza and Zoa, and it paid off, taking the map 6-3 and defending the title.
Mills and Zoa are your champions of the PS4 Open Series monthly final for the European region.
Looking forward to seeing them compete again in the PS4 Tournament's Open Series Call of Duty monthly finals. Think you got game? Sign up at compete.playstation.com and you could be crowned our next champs.
PlayStation.
PlayStation 4 tournaments are a great training ground for those looking to get into competitive Call of Duty, and you can sign up right from your console to start winning those prizes. You saw the website just there at the end of the video. Get involved, get going, compete.playstation.com. Mate, Chance, I never had anything like that when I was an aspiring professional player in my game of choice. We basically just had to get involved in the tournaments. We never had like various avenues to sort of get to the top, but very, very exciting that many, many players can indeed. We're almost ready to get into this game, boys and girls. We thank you very much for your patience. We hope you're enjoying this sort of overflow of content and information. Chance, we're really, really close, my friend, and we're sprouting, we're blossoming slowly but surely, much like the flowers in your shirt as we get into this game.
No, I'm excited. You know, the flowers are starting to bloom. It's about that time of year where everything matters more at Champs. And I will say, by the way, looking at those clips for the 2v2, normally when I see something like that, especially in 2v2s, not really expecting the players to be that good, but those guys look like they actually had some pretty good skill. That's one of those things that, like, now I just want to play the game. Like, I want to get in and test myself and see exactly where I stand. But, of course, no one wants to watch that, Miles. It's all about those pros.
It's all about those pros. That's why we're here. And those pros should be coming up after this very, very quick break. Once again, we thank you very much for your patience. There has been a slight technical issue, but we will be back after this one. Toronto Ultra going up against the Dallas Empire. We're ready to rip roar and get into this one. Many, many more games coming up after the break here on the CDL.
Joe, I know you don't care. And I know you don't care, Joe. And I know that this is pissing off Canadians everywhere, that it is maple flavored syrup. It's not real maple syrup, but I live in Texas, and this is what my fiance had in our fridge. But if Toronto can do it, Joe, I am dumping this all over my face, and it smells horrible.
Yeah. You're actually gonna do this?
Oh, Joe! It tastes horrible, Joe. Oh, that's.
Oh wait, that's not even. What is?
I don't know.
What
It's
is
awful.
that?
It's horrible.
Why is it so
Because
liquidy?
it's sugar-free synthetic stuff.
What is that, dude? That looks like that is
It
disgusting.
tastes like squirrel pee.
Why do you know what squirrel pee tastes
I don't,
like?
Joe, but it's all in my face.
Okay.
It's in my eyes, Joe.
God bless you, Maven, for being a man of your word and actually pouring that sort of strange-looking syrup across your entire face. I could never do that, Chance, and I don't think you ever could. We simply have too much hair. I couldn't have that kind of sickly, syrupy stuff all over the mane. You know what I mean?
I was about
You
to say,
can do
like,
it.
we definitely could do it, but I would not recommend
No.
in the slightest. If you want to make that bet, I'll let you fall on that sword, but definitely not for me.
Bro, I'm all good, mate. But some players who'd be very disappointed in the waste of some damn fine maple syrup. It's time to meet the Toronto Ultra.
I don't think Toronto's going to be ready for this.
That is quite literally worst case scenario if you're Ultra.
Toronto, they're meant to lose this game.
Toronto have not quite had what it takes.
And he goes huge for Ultra, and they get their first home series victory. What a map 5 it was.
After a year of disappointment, Toronto Ultra, Cinderella's going to the ball. Toronto Ultra, can they continue the fantastic run of wins they've managed to find themselves here in the late stages of the inaugural Call of Duty League season? Kleenex Classic, Methods, Cammy and Vance, 5 household names, 5 absolute heroes, legends if you will, throughout the entire country of Canada. But their opponents, a very, very fierce, very, very difficult challenge to get through. Can they do it twice? 3-1 was the last time we saw that scoreline. Now, an opportunity to go up once again against the might of the Dallas Empire. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, stamp your feet for the Dallas Empire.
The Dallas Empire very well may be the best team in the Call of Duty League.
Oh, no!
This is not a game. I didn't come to play.
Who goes huge? Where do these search rounds go? Once again, Empire steal around.
I'm a
Chauncey is ridiculous.
Hey, burn it up. Burn it up. Yeah, you know I'm coming for the crown. And we don't play around. You better get out my way.
All great empires fall from within. It's going to take a lot of work to get it done once again for Toronto Ultra as Shotzi, Crim6, Clayster, Illy, and Hugh now lined up, ready to go into this series. And Chance, I mean, there are 5 players on our screens, 3 of which, you know, have made a very, very big impact this year. But of course, Crim6 and Clayster have been around for a very, very long time.
And incredible careers both of these players have had since back in like the COD 4 days, I think is roughly when these guys get their start. So they've been here forever. They have been around the block. And an interesting way to look at it too is just how different like takes that both of these teams when it came to crafting their team for like the inaugural season. You Toronto Ultra, who got criticized heavily for picking up like 10 incredibly talented players because he knew how difficult it would be to pick those final 5. Well, the 5 that they had have been on a massive tear. And then of course on Dallas, the flip side is pick up a bunch of these young guns, 18 years old, fresh, even coming from different games, stick them with the vents and let them teach them how to play. And both teams have been having an incredible amount of success, but arguments are won at this tournament and this tournament alone.
This tournament's a big one already. First time we've seen Dallas Empire grace your browsers since the tournament began. I wonder what dirty, dirty tricks the Empire has up their sleeve now as we roll into Azir Cave. Map number 1. Winners round 2 underway. Dallas fans the world over clapping, cheering, screaming at their monitors right now. Let's get into this one. Again, a solid map. We've seen, 3 Azir Caves today. Clayster's going to start a nice first blood on the Kleenex
And again, just keep in mind for Empire, 0-6 on this map. Yes, they've had a ton of tight games, but still searching for that old number one. And what a better way for those guys to make that first map win, be the first map that they play at COD Champs this year. But of course, right now, for the moment, it is Toronto Ultra on that better side, and Kleenex, the man that's been on a tear at this tournament, lighting up the kill feed early on.
Yeah, Toronto doing a nice job early on. Clayster, though, trying to make his way in on towards those spawns of Ultra. Doing a good job, identifying those threats and taking care of them. Clayster finds his third kill in a row before going down there to Cami. Once again, the defense from Ultra, good. Illy now buying that real estate, making his way forward. It's going to be on Crim 6 now, as he catches one player on the transition towards that front line. The hard point, once again, going the way of Dallas Empire. Crim has slipped right through. Can he find any more? No, it will not. But again, buying that space for the Dallas Empire to work their way forward, try to pressure the spawns.
And that's a fantastic example of how difficult it is to actually break through towards this second hill. You got Clayster picking up, well, actually 3 on that run. Kroom is picking up double kills. So many players on the side of Empire that are actually slaying out so well. And Clayster already 7 kills to his name. But in spite of all that slaying power, in spite of the fact that Classic and Methods right now 2 and 9 combined, well, they're in this P2 hill attempting to rack up the time, but the break for Empire might just be it.
Yeah, the break's on now. Nades from Shotzi there is going to push those final players out of the tunnel. Kleenex, though, the spawn is still very close right now for Toronto Ultra. Catching the players on the transition. Nice 2-piece there for Kleenex as he now makes his way onto the point. Gets 99.99% of bacteria with a wipe. He's getting rid of a lot of Dallas Empire, but Illy, that 0.01% gets through. Manages to find that kill. Shotzi now as well, as Toronto Ultra have not been very productive on the first and second hardpoint so far. Will they be able to find some success going into soccer field?
That is actually a legitimately beautiful job done by Empire just to make sure that, frankly, they took the P1 hill, got 47 seconds on it, and then the money hill, they just chopped away, 35 seconds out of the hands of Ultra. The M4s right now lighting up the kill feed on the side of the Dallas Empire. And of course, Clayster again, just to give him the nod, leading that charge with 10 kills. Cammy does get chopped down on the flank, and now we have the face smash. 50-50 gunfights in and around the corner.
Oh, Hugh. Oh, Method's just about gets him 5 in a row for Bants there. You can see all the banner above. Shots, on your screen. Astro MVP candidate. And with good reason, nice tags in it can be not enough to get any more. Their Clayster's going to be up top now, watching over the top of this hard point. You can hear it all really going down below. The trophy system now comes into effect there for Toronto Ultra. Here comes one of Clay's of his own. That's going to be a nice 20+ seconds now garnered. This should go the way of Dallas. You can see the spawns are on screen now. Toronto Ultra in a great spot to get over to Cave West next. See how Dallas can now try and make the break.
You can actually see Dallas had no idea that the spawns ended up coming in behind them. So many players pushed out towards the middle of the map. So this is a good opportunity for Toronto Ultra, right? Despite the fact that they had the spawns early on, obviously in the scoreline, the production is not going in their way. This is the opportunity for them to start clawing themselves back in the game. Of course, though, Illy going to be a force to be reckoned with. He's trying to get this split and coming through the well, and nobody's watching it. Free kill for the first one, knows where Kleenex is, still trying to be the cutoff man, but even if he gets chopped, his job is done. He bought his teammates so much room to breathe.
Oh, Crim's going to use that fresh lungs air to keep the play going. Classic gets to the front line. Nice coverage from Cammy there and Vance. The remainder of Ultra now flooding on through to the cave. Cave West, a tough one. There's going to be 2 lanes of attack that the likes of Empire have to work with now, and it's going to be through these cave entrances. There's still that little doggy door or the rabbit hole just to the right-hand side, and it looks like Ultra do have coverage on that one as well. So, great hold so far from Ultra. Now we're finally seeing some decent production here out of the hard point. We are going to rotate early, though. Over to the cliff face we go, and it's going to be Dallas so far.
Maybe a few players from Ultra starting to get a little bit of a hot hand. You see Classic was on a 4 spree before he gets chopped, and actually, frankly, Cammy, he just found a route. He is in between all 5 members of the Dallas Empire and takes down the man inside the hill, and he's able to stay alive. He does get chopped down, and unfortunately for him, his teammates nowhere to be found. And of course, well, you talk about the details. Shotzi, he's seen Silly play this map before, wants to have the Growl up top.
Yeah, Growl, long-range extraordinaire assault rifle. Powerful position to be in. Hugh now trying to bring that MP5 up close, watching the flank now. Vance is going to be the first one to challenge, and a great challenge it is, but not enough. Hugh's going to get it done. Cammy on the immediate trade now. Clay falls over. Cammy finds another one on the push there. That's 2 in a row. Cammy will go down. Shotzi now trying to bounce back onto the point. 3, I'd say, for Cammy. As Shotzi now making his way forward to the hard point. These tags are great. Not quite enough to get the full kill. Cammy goes down. Methods over the top. Shotzi, beautiful angle to be found there. And Ultra are still fighting tooth and nail here, keeping this as competitive as they possibly can. A couple of friendly nades are going to come through. We are going to be going back towards the center of the map, and it is an absolute bloodbath as Classic and the rest of Ultra try to find some space there in middle.
And it's sort of back-to-back hills, right, where each team that gets the original setup, well, the team that was attacking doing a really nice job to chip away time. But back to this P1, the first time around, the Empire were able to get 47 seconds on it, and of course, not get the spawn for rotation, but do a phenomenal job after that. Now, of course, the tables have turned. Vance is able to pick up 3. It's Ultra inside of this hill, and Empire, well, they have to be careful. You can't be over-aggressive. Of course, you don't want the other team to get all that time.
Now, you could get a lot of time here for Toronto Ultra, but you give up on that KV's push. Wow, Shotzi says no, and he literally like tiptoe bunny hops across the middle of the hard point, finds that kill. Now he's going to get maybe 20 plus seconds out of this one. Here comes the push from Ultra. No one quite in a position to make anything happen towards the next hard point, as the remainder of the players now from Empire and mid, they keep the presence alive. Beautiful two-piece from Illy there. The next 12, well, not a nice nade comes through, but it's good work nonetheless. Ultra still, you can see those white arrows. Number 6, Kleenex trying to make the impact on the inside of the cave, not to be found. Chance and Dallas, they're holding the cave east side down very well.
Yeah, doing a very nice job. No one for the Ultra is able to slip through, and Clayster, of course, is going to have the call-outs like, hey, I just fell. You have to worry about the cliffside path, and of course, well, all this pressure coming down from the middle. Of course, Illy has a great deal of responsibility, and smokes out, makes it more confusing. Crim6 still effectively watching the full flank. At least he's able to pick up one, and Toronto trying to pour that pressure from the front.
Clay, lovely shots. Maybe a 3-piece on the other side for Kleenex, but Clay finds himself too to keep the hard point as safe as he can. Ultra now, pushed to the outskirts of the cave. No one quite able to make their way in just yet. Up first going to be Crim6. Trophy keeps him safe. Nice shots into the first. Not enough to get the kill, but Shotzi and Illy are there to help provide that pressure. Sadly, they do a little bit more than provide just pressure there. The Zook now bringing the MP5 up close. Wonderful kills now coming through from Dallas Empire. We're going to look across towards the next hardpoint, and once again, Cave East. They managed to get the nice hardpoint chunk there on the first. Going into the second, not as good there for Ultra.
Massive moment right now for the Empire. Not only do they have the largest lead of the game, but they are winning this rotation. They have 2 players that have already crossed that, or at least New Hill, trying to push up into well, and of course, Clayster, well, he's going to wrap up and continue to be the slaying power, just god, that he has been so far in this map 1. But either way, again, largest lead for the Empire that we've had. They're trying to run it up.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big one for Empire. If they can keep this lead going, they started as hot as they could. Again, those are your game fuel keys to victory for Empire on this one. Toronto Ultra trying to bring things back, trying to make it as close as they can. Methods versus Clayster on first. This is going to be a nice long-range fight. Methods going to deal the initial damage, but the hardpoint's going back into the hands of Empire. Methods could potentially come in from behind here, deal some support. He's going to win the fight across map, but it's still his teammates are getting absolutely ripped to pieces there on the hardpoint. No one really able to get in there. Kleenex is going to be the first to go, but it's a 1-man push against a 3-man Dallas Empire hold. So, Chance, we're going into another hardpoint. Shots, he's got dead silence up for the rotation. I mean, this is the stuff for greatness right now from Empire.
And now he's got 26, can't make it 27, missed it by a bullet, but frankly, Empire are playing this incredibly well. They're trying to let it ride as well. Clayster already in a pretty good spot. He's able to take down Kleenex. But even on the hills where Toronto has been getting there first, just Empire does such a fantastic job of keeping them away from the hill, making sure they can't rack up a ton of time. So Toronto, they basically need these final 40 seconds. They're going to have to get 90% of it. They are in a massive deficit. Got to do something crazy to attempt to turn things around.
That's the assault rifles of both teams that are really deep in the damage here again. Cave, long lines of sight. AR's really getting put to work. Classic finds himself 1 more in a row. These ducks are starting to line up. Here comes Illy in the next push. Classic can't quite get it done. 23 and 25 overall. Cammy can't get it done. Lily finds the second there. That's a lovely bit of work once again from the Empire. Now Methods absolutely screaming bullets down range. There's the first. Here comes the hop round the corner. Engage the second. Kleenex there with the MP5 to back him up. And again, solid pressure here from Ultra. A decent amount of time going forward. But Empire, they managed to keep off the point just long enough. Now we go over to cliff face once again. And already we've got Shotzi in position there with his grab out.
Already set up and ready to go, and that means Empire should be good for this rotation, at least to get bodies in the hill first. So Crim6 sitting inside Shotzi. His job is just to cover his teammate, make sure they can't get up, and there is no recoil on that gun. The straight laser beam from the young man, and now it looks like Ultra, they're forced. They got to flood up the cliff path. You know you have to deal with the grout. You got to get past Took, and this is just such a tough run they have to make, and Shotzi, frankly, feels so little pressure on this hill. Now we started to get aggressive because Ultra are just in such a bad spot, flooding through the front.
Yeah, Ultra committed to the front, but there is a flank happening on the rear. Clay and Illy, they're going to pick up the kills. The pinch is perfect. Ultra cut down, and it's going to be 30 points now for the win for Dallas Empire. Can't quite get it done here. Classic scrambling across map. You are going to be able to pin Dallas Empire there towards the cliff face, but you have to get out towards this first hard point once again. You have to make sure you hold that perfectly, because now things are looking very, very dire. Toronto Ultra, the last hard point victories have been so close. There's nothing close about this one.
Nothing close so far. Toronto back against the wall, and of course, well, for the Empire, 0-6 on their map. They're looking for their first win on their first map at Champs. Dominant from top to bottom, 31 kills apiece for Illy, Clay, and Shotzi, if not more. Couple nades and gunfights coming in for Toronto, though, just to extend this out a little bit further. Bar none, this is Empire's game to lose, and Hoop, well, he's looking to fly.
Yeah, one break's all it's going to take for the win here for Empire. Clay's going to see if he can get it done. A kill on the Classic would be good. It's not going to happen, and I will say Ultra are doing a good job. Another 30 seconds to hold this one. You do have to worry about spawns for the next one, so Methods now, he has to go huge. 25 seconds remaining on this hard point. Don't forget, all that time still, Empire could make a cheeky play, get it onto the point. One kill again is all they need, and get on there for a few seconds for the dub. Here we go. Cammy, Methods, now hitting the flank. Tags coming through. The play has been read. The alarm bells have been rung, and Cammy's gone down. Illy's going to find the two. That makes the back of the map safe, and the writing is now on the wall. Ultra, there is almost no way they could punch on through, stop those remaining seconds going through as Crim now backs up. This is it for the win here in map number 1. An easy kill as Crim 6 now, he can lay prone. Oh, and let the hard point tick over. Dallas Empire, they take map number 1 handedly.
In 250 to 182, I do not think does that game justice. That was a scarily dominant game coming out of the Empire. I think one of the most impressive stretches we had was the second set of rotations, second time around, from Soccer over towards the Cave. That was one rotation that the Ultra should have won, and then one rotation that they did win. And despite the fact that those are 2 hills where you can get a decent chunk of time, they only threw maybe 20, 25 seconds on the board. And if that means Empire are working from a difficult spot and making sure that you're getting absolutely nothing, that was a sight to behold. That is an Empire that has figured something out for Azir Cave.
Stats on screen. Decent amount of kills across the board from almost everyone there, and wonderful amount of hardpoint work there from Clayster and Illy. Once again, we talk about the M4s. There was almost M4s across the board for everyone there going into the final few moments. There was only Hoop running the MP5 from start to finish, but you saw the assault rifles really come to life. Dallas certainly had the edge there over Toronto Ultra. And Chance, for me personally, I just felt like you're winning those individual fights. It was the AR on AR battle that Dallas Empire were winning those, for the majority of the map.
I mean, yeah, you had 9 of them being used that entire map. M4 clearly doing pretty well on the 60 hertz servers, but either way, toe-to-toe, Dallas, of course, had that edge, but I really just appreciated the stat line across the board. It's not like any one player from the Empire had to go off. Collective team effort, everyone except for the guy running the MP5, able to throw it between, 31 and 34 kills, whatever it was. Great production the whole way through. The rotations, the Empire did not win. They chipped away a ton of time from the Ultra, and frankly, for Toronto, they just didn't have room to breathe.
Very, very dominant performance. Now it's time to look at our predictions brought to you by the Sony Xperia smartphone. And Chance, I actually, I'm not going to lie to anyone out here, I thought this is going to be an Empire 3-1 victory. I think that this is Champs time. I think a team like Dallas Empire, an extremely well-versed team, I think they got secrets, man. I think they got some dirty tricks up their sleeve, and I think now is the time to bring them out. This is a squad that does their homework, and I truly believe that no one's going to have an easy walk, let's say, over Dallas Empire this event.
I agree. I think the 3-1 is reasonable, but I think I took it a step further and just said I think it's going to be a Dallas 3-0. I know Toronto has been great as of late, especially at their home series, right? They needed to perform, and they have been going off, but the way I saw it, Dallas hasn't had nearly as much pressure on their backs because they've been great from day one. They've been game planning for Champs probably as soon as this roster got formed. They're going to go next level, and it really is one of those teams that, I'm very curious to see what they're going to bring to the table. And even right away, right? 0-6 on Azir K throughout the course of the entire year, and that what we just saw right there was just dominance. I think this team is going to be able to kick it up a notch, and I'm interested to see just how good they can get.
It's a team that plays a lot of mind games. And don't get me wrong, I love the whole staff behind the Toronto Ultra squad, but I just think there's something special right now. We're ready to rock and roll with Dallas Empire. Now, the quick scope brought to you by the US Air Force, and again, a tale of two teams. Dallas Empire certainly with the edge in pretty much every regard, but again, they've had a great start to the season, and it's been pretty good all along. It's that recent success from Toronto Ultra that's really got them back in form, and again, that recent performance that has got them into winners bracket here at playoffs. Without those recent performances, without that home series win, they wouldn't have been able to make it here. So again, kudos to Toronto Ultra. You did the hardest work possible when you absolutely had to, and they've managed to find themselves amongst the big dogs when things really matter. Again, Maps and Modes brought to you by the US Air Force. And Chance, I got a funny feeling that it might not be, it could be a 3-1, but I think the Petrograd has got to go the way of Ultra, because those gun runners, baby. Yeah.
I will say, though, like, I agree, it is pressure on. You're going to have to bounce back immediately. Going down 2-0 against the Empire is not a fun spot to be on. But that same Petrograd, map number 2, that's the map that Toronto Ultra sealed the deal, got themselves in a winner's bracket, won that round 11 against FaZe, where Methods had that 1v2 clutch, taking down Major Maniac in the end. So this is a good map form. This is where they want to be. They've had their backs against the wall. They've had that pressure on them for this specific map. They need that bounce back. They need to turn around. But of course, the Empire, we know they're going to have some tricks up on their sleeves. We know that Illy, honestly, I think is going to be the player to watch, whether or not it's going to be his sniper rifle on the offensive side of things or on defense. He is a guy that if you want to learn some different ways to play this map, pay attention to all the different spots that he is going to bring out. He mixes things up every single round. It seems like him and Clay putting in work over on the B-side side of things, but that is more of a background sort of information to look at. Of course, I'm Toronto. I know that there's going to be weird setups coming out on the B side of the map, and in my mind, I would definitely turn most of my attention towards A, where Cammy could potentially spot the cross, not find that first pick, and of course, well, my advice got ignored. They're going over towards B, and they are going to get met by the Empire.
Oh, here they come. Kleenex has actually managed to catch eyes on first, and Vance finds this first kill. Classic slips on out. Bomb Carrier finds one of his own. Toronto now have managed to read the play by Empire just a split second later, and they would not have found a thing. From now overextending, trying to find these players transitioning towards A, but the defense has had to go a little funny. Clay's managed to take care of himself. Ultra finds the win. It's going to be 1-0 so far.
Dude, it is legitimately difficult to fall off the map in this game, and Clayster, no BS, just found a way at COD Champs to fall off the map in round 1. Admittedly, the round was not looking good from the get-go, because we talked about all the different defensive setups that the Empire have. Well, Toronto actually straight up took it to them, made the right read, and had a great execution of their strategy. But Clayster, come on, man. Like, what is going on?
I don't even know. I'm not even sure if that's what happened. He
jumped off on the top left. He was up on the wall. You can look down river side of things, and he just straight up missed time.
Clay's playing Fall Guys over here at COD Champs. All right, Shotsy, bring that bomb in towards A. Huke's going to lead the charge. Kleenex finds the first kill onto Illy, and that's going to be a nice way to start this one off. Not a whole lot of room to work with now on this site. Again, Methods up high in this great power position, top apartments. Squad's going to now reinforce this one. Peeks for shots. He saw the top of the head. M4's going to get the job done at that range, and now it's an awkward fight. Huke just toying with Bants. You can imagine the nerves right now for both these teams. Middle of the map, Clayster's going to have watch of the center of the street, making sure no one tries to hit the back end of the bomb site, but Hook's hoping for a kill at the front. Slides on through. Classic's there, going to get the second. Methods wins his 1v1. Now it's on Clay. Nothing to throw himself off. The bullets will get it done. Chance, another good round for Toronto.
I was going to say falling off the train, if not the map this time around, but that is 2 beautiful rounds coming out of the Ultra, working on that bounce back from the Azir Cave. Again, just to keep in mind, Illy and of course Empire as a whole, a lot of weird defensive setups. They're going to throw it over towards B. Toronto played off of that perfectly in round number 1, and then they just got the first bloods. Fairly standard stuff, and then make sure you do not make mistakes. Everyone is set up, ready for the trades to come in. Classic, I think, was able to pick up a couple kills along the way. Now Cammy, back to the snipe to see if he can hit, but there is no bang.
Nah, no bang. A couple of shots, though, again. The intentions were there, the intentions were good, but the execution just faltered somewhat. But again, the bomb has made its way through the center of the map, much more towards that B bomb site now, and it's going to be on Clayster to try to identify the push. Eyes up. Did he catch a shadow there? Did he see something? There it is. Lots of information. Kleenex gets wiped out. Clay's first blood. Huge now. And that momentum swing, Toronto are going to guess now before they have to make their way across mid. And here come the reinforcements from Ultra. Bants, dead silence from the middle, trying to find an opening. Classic answers back. And back and forth we go, Chance.
Great patience from Classic and Bance, able to make the read. The dead silence coming in handy on the flip side. He's able to get that little bit of advantage. A-side control, though, still heavily in Empire's favor. Hookto, the lone man, might have to deal with a ton. Spots a couple, gets out of dodge. Great job just to play your life, and he needs the reinforcements to come in, and Illy thinking about a flank.
Yeah, if he'd been killed on these streets there, this would have been over real fast. Illy on the flank, good timing. Nice kill. Puke now bring the fight up close, gets the bomb carrier down. Oh, Bance will get the trade. Now it's all in Illy. A lovely shot to make it a 1 versus 1. 22 seconds left now. Bomb's going to go down. Illy with the dead silence on the outskirts. Are we going to see the bomb being armed? Yes. Bance will get it down at the very least. Illy, though, could still charge this one. Here he comes around the corner. Illy for the kill. Illy's going to get it just as the bomb goes down. And with that, Dallas will get on the board after this dead silence runs out.
A necessary bounce back as well. Illy is clutched. I have to imagine at this point thousands of 1 versus 1s, but his first one he gets at COD Champs, and he's able to convert. The flank was timed perfectly by him. And I will say again, from top to bottom, just very smart plays coming in, right? Huke is making the read. He sees a couple on the flanks, does the smart thing, backs up and plays his life, doesn't try to make a hero play. You get the kills in and around in sight, and then even Illy, after he gets the kill on the flank, doesn't force it in, even though he's a decent spot. He says, hey, I already have the dead silence going. I can afford to wrap this out for free. Bance isn't going to be able to hear a thing and just makes those perfect calls. Worse, though, now for Dallas Empire, going to be back on the attack. Obviously, their first round did not have a ton of success. They got completely wiped all the way across the board.
Yeah, opening picks from Clay again. A little bit of back and forth helps here or there, but crucial turns. Illy finds himself 3 and 2 going another round. Clayster now trying to make his way up top. It's an aggressive bomb push right through the middle of the map. I'm not sure if there's going to be many eyes from Toronto Ultra to actually see this go down. The smoke helps, certainly, but now Shotzzy with bomb in hand has completely overwhelmed the back end of the B site, and looks like these players are aware of it. Again, it's a dance with the dead silences right now, and in we go. Shotzzy, the first shots are there, but not the kill, and now he's in a bit of trouble. These players are repositioned. Shotzzy, a real magician. The Classic had a peek behind the curtain, and that's a lovely 2-piece as well. The trick was ruined. Clayster now left alone, and Dallas, a ballsy attempt, but Toronto have seen funnier things in their time. This is their round to lose chance.
I think Shotzzy was in a tough spot. I think the players popped dead silence in around Hazmat. And well, now Clay, you see the positioning of the Toronto Ultra. Cammy, not only is he on a fantastic head glitch with his stuns coming out, but they basically had the position triangulated. And another just fantastic round coming out of the Toronto Ultra. They have been very prepared for anything that the Empire are going to throw at him, because Shotzzy makes the right read, right? Gets all the way through, cuts off the middle of the map, but never hears those players in Hazmat that actually pass back behind him. Super unfortunate that he wasn't able to finish either one of those kills. And of course, I think it was Classic once again was able to go big and pick him up at least 2 more kills.
Yeah, Shotzzy and Crim unable to get any kills so far. Classic sitting at 6 alone. And there we go. Cammy finally finds the success, but on the answer back, though, Illy takes 1. Can he do 1 better now with this AX-50? The 1 versus Cammy now. And there's just the top of his head. But sweet child of mine, he managed to get the shot in the end. But well, Illy managed to get it down in the second. Wins the battle of the snipers, makes the middle of the map a little bit safer. Huke's the only player down now for Dallas Empire on the defense. Classic, Methods, Bance, now have to make the play alone.
Of course, in this 3v4, they have a fair bit of time to work with, but obviously, Shotzzy has a lockdown. He's going to spot the cross if they rotate that way, and the rest of Empire waiting for Toronto to show up at this B site. You got players like Crim6 up in the power position with an M4. He can lock it down. Clayster's got a cross. They have all of their bases covered. And Empire effectively just waiting for Toronto Ultra to fall in the trap, and frankly, Toronto Ultra, time is ticking. Less than 25 seconds on the clock. The smoke is going to be so they can cross over to A and potentially single out Shotzzy.
This could be it. You single out Shotzzy. He's actually looking the wrong way. Bance with a dead silence could be the played maker to do it. Here come the reinforcements now from the Empire. Shotzzy, he looks left, he looks right, he misses Bance, but he just about wins the gunfight. Bance now. 10 seconds, he's got to get the bomb down quickly. There's the kill coming through from Classic. This could have just worked out. 3 versus 2 now. Methods wins a big one. Clay from up high, though, he gets the kill. He gets 2. He makes it a 1 versus 1. Methods gets it done in the end. 4-1. on the back of a great round from Toronto Ultra.
Methods does not lose clutch rounds anymore. He is different as of late. Granted, it should have just been an easier 3v1, but Clayster gets a pretty good timing on the guys. Would have been a little bit better if he got him before the bomb plant. But talk about that call. And then, frankly, I think for Empire, really should have reacted faster. The fact that Shotzi, by the time he turns around, there's a player already up in his grill. A little bit too late with that play call. And you see 0-5 and 0-5 for Shotzi and Crim6 and a 1-5 for Hook. Maybe one good round for Empire, but outside of that, they have been getting throttled on St. Petro.
Yeah, this is a masterclass from Toronto Ultra. Mind games are plenty. They're winning them. Again, the two-man push. The top apartments is not what the likes of Ultra thought, but they've got it good now. Heavy stacking towards A. It looks pretty convincing right now. Clace is the only player watching the flank. Huke, though, he's managed to make his way through again. Very, very loud. And amongst the gunshots and the explosions, his footsteps would have just about been audible enough. Crim gets his first kill. And that first blood could have made things a lot more interesting. Classic now waiting for the push now onto the bomb. Shotzi with a quick bomb arm. And you can see the defensive hold now for Dallas Empire. It is watertight. And don't forget, Clace are also on the...
Classic able to push up through the smoke. There's a couple players, dead silence popped all over the place. The flank potentially coming in. Clay is trying to watch it, but right now it is going to be a 2v3 as Illy finds the next kill. But Cammy actually managed to get by, but Clay spots him in the end in the nick of time before any craziness can occur. And Dallas Empire finding a way to bounce back. And you can see Clayster, he had some inkling. He's checking everything. He's looking everywhere. Managed to take down that final player in the nick of time. But either way, I won't say a standard round with the chaos, but either way, you get those first bloods, you get control of that site, and even though the player falls after getting the bomb down, you still have enough bodies up that the trades are going to be on point. Empire still have fight in them.
Place they're playing the long insurance game there. It was a deep investment, sitting in top blue for almost the entire round, comes in at the last moment to save it. Here we go, Toronto Ultra. Cammy finds a nice shot into Clay to start the round off. That's a lovely first blood. Opens up not almost the entire street. Methods were nice follow-up there on a Shotzi. Shotzi still sadly sitting on the donut. We'll be cueing the James Bond theme song in just a moment if things keep going this way, but... Methods. Can't find much more here. Nice shots on a Crim. Crim playing this very, very sensibly, very, very slowly. Now buckling into the pushing towards A. He's all alone at this point in time. 5 versus 3. He's stunned. Crim's in trouble, man. Methods is going to toast him. Vance and the rest of Toronto Ultra now to overwhelm the site. Huke, though, going to fight to find at least one kill here. Just absolutely tweaking right now. He's in a lot of trouble. He knows that he's surrounded. Illy now to back him up. Stun goes in up top. Going to slow down Illy, but you can see Huke goes down at the bottom of the staircase. He's out. It's going to be a 1 versus 4. 30 seconds left on the clock. Could Illy maybe, at the very least, kill the bomb carrier and try to slow this one down? Not a chance. Toronto Ultra. Map point.
And to speak about how often Dallas Empire are mixing up their strats, right? We've seen Illy counter-snipe from the spot that Clay just got first blooded from. We've seen them try to be hyper-aggressive on the flank on the B side of things. This time they tried to fly out over towards A. And no matter what Empire try to throw at Toronto, they always have the perfect response. They always have all of their bases covered. If Cammy's maybe a little bit exposed up over on top of top pool hall, well, his teammates over from restaurant are trying to cover his bases. Illy looking for a counter snipe, able to hit it, but not the collat, but the first blood that the Empire needed.
The collat would have been something special. Is now a decent amount of real estate to work with for Empire as they make their way in towards the A site. Vance is going to be the lone defender for now, and oh boy, Illy catches Kleenex, who was trying to play annoyance in the middle of the map there. Now he's got an MP5. Illy's a dangerous man to begin with. Clay, Illy, Crim, finding kills of their own. Can Crim catch the top of Vance? Not just yet, but again, the numbers are here. It's a 1 versus 3 for Vance. And it is all she wrote. Dallas Empire with a great round, 5-3.
And I tell you, well, obviously the first blood snipe pick for Millie is going to be helpful, but it seems like anytime someone gets aggressive, effectively pushing to the spawn of the offensive team, it hasn't worked out a single time this game, at least not to my knowledge. Maybe the flank for Illy counts, but I mean at the start of the rounds, so many players have tried it. Of course, now, well, maybe a first blood pick from Cammy can help them out on offense, but Empire, as many looks as they've thrown on defense, they got to find something new.
Yeah, Cammy's not been as dangerous in the first blood. He's got 3, I suppose, but it's not like they're making the biggest, impact from them. Shotzi does get on the board in the end. There's 1 and 7. Now Kleenex, super aggressive moving forward. Got to watch out though. Illy managed to Dead Silence is winning the top of the restaurant. Classic slides through, does manage to get the kill. That's a huge first blood there for Ultra.
There's a checklist somewhere. Did you win the gunfight? Yes, no. Well, did you slide? If you did, you get the dub in this game. Clayster, though, nice response. He's effectively the lone man over towards B. That is a massive kill for him to get these tie things up. In Toronto, we've seen them quite a few times. They start to look over towards B or mid-map a little bit, and then eventually wrap over towards this A site. See, Empire for the moment haven't fallen for the bait, still have that A site control, but we've seen players get through this and go for the flank, and Toronto trying the same thing once again.
Yeah, they managed to make their way through. Shotzi would have heard possibly something again, hoping for the kills. Kleenex now, the entry is on. Duke answers back straight away. Can he find the second methods? No, this is his playground. He slips right on through. Shotzi with a great time. Now it's on Cammy. Beautiful work from Empire. The push was on. What a counter-attack. 5-4 chance, 2 in a row now for Empire.
And I want nothing more to see a hand cam of Shotzi and Hook, right? The movement is ridiculous. The number of micro inputs these guys are throwing in the mix is completely absurd. But either way, a very hectic moment. Clayster, of course, gets his job done over towards B. In Toronto, we've seen them make that play where they go for that sort of flank over towards the A site. This time, Crim6 was there. He was ready and gets at least 1 kill before he gets traded out to make things easier.
No snipes this round from Millie on the first bloods. 3-man on the defense in towards A for Ultra. But here comes the push to the outside of River Street. It's going to be Shotzi leading the charge. Huke's going to be back in. Here comes the Classic, who's actually looking the wrong way. Gunshots in the background. Clayster's going to get the opening kill on that player on top of the yellow truck. Classic with a lovely 2-piece, and he stays alive. He stays alive, and he deals tons of damage. Classic, what a play that was. Keep themselves in this one. He drops the bomb carrier as well, and I love this repositioning chance.
Now Classic might end up just going on a full flank and takedown. He'll shoot some more players in the back. He's already got 2 to his name, and he might be able to let it ride. Of course, Empire, if they can single out Bance, maybe get control of the B site, that's going to be nice, but they have no idea that Classic is behind them.
They have no idea. You've got a player on the deep defense going to be Bance over towards B, 2 in towards A. And Classic, he could well be the Reaper of Petrograd. Empire now just weighing up their options. 3v4 situation. Great spot for Illy to bring the snipe to. He could catch Bance. Just keep panning right. Keep panning right. You could get it. There's the kill. Illy with the snipe now. Misses the shot. Classic now on the flank. Finally pays off. It's on to Crim, who wins his 1v1. But that's going to be it. Toronto Ultra. They're going to tie the series up 1-1. What a round.
Their Petrograd has been on point. They basically dealt with everything that the Empire could throw at them. And even then, it all comes down in the end, right? A day 1 spot. Classic playing that cheeky little spot. Empire don't even think to check it. 2 players slide past, 2 players fall. And a hell of a game from Classic, by the way. I think maybe the first 3 rounds that he had, he was getting 2 kills in every single one of them. Does so at the end to make sure to seal the deal. Nice little 12-5 he's able to throw up on board.
Crazy, crazy stuff. Good stuff out of Toronto Ultra. Again, I thought that it felt like they were almost throwing it. We saw that Dallas playbook that they have. They're so well versed when it comes to search. And again, the addition of Rambo Ray, I really felt bolstered that one. Again, their coach, wonderful work. We love you, Ray. King of Big Bertha, Warzone champion. But yeah, we're going to go now into our US Army tactical play. Round 5. A lot of fun to be had in this search. And again, man, it was a close one. I truly thought that there are times there where, honestly, Dallas could have pulled that back. They could have won it. But ultimately, big individual wins there from Methods. Lovely stuff all around from both squads.
And I love the play call as well. This round 5, that was a 3v4. That's to bump up the lead just a little bit more. And again, I think it was just the communication. Like, that smoke goes down and Shotzi just has no idea that 3 players are coming up behind him. And then as soon as they do, well, the round's pretty much over. Clay makes it super interesting. But again, Methods has the clutch gene in his DNA as of recent. I don't know if some sort of cryo tech is able to get that implant for him, but he figured out a way to make it happen. Make sure to give them that 4-1 lead. And just such an important cushion to have, because keep in mind, 6-4 game, they don't get that win. We end up seeing a round 11, and then who knows?
Who knows? The series is open now for grabs. When we come back after this break, we'll find out if the Iceman can continue the run. Remember when Methods was getting smoked on Arsenal by that statue? Yeah, me too. More CDL after the break.
TeamSpeak, the official broadcast communication partner of the Call of Duty League. The US Army, what's your warrior? PlayStation 4, the official platform partner of the Call of Duty League. Call of Duty League is brought to you by Metro by T-Mobile. Rule your day with the #1 brand in prepaid.
In every battle, there is a moment. Most don't even see it. But for others, it's all they see.
And there's the hype! How many men is he gonna run through? That was just easy dominance. They did it!
Here, on the ultimate proving grounds, Call of Duty's elite converge. When that moment stares you in the face, you'll know one thing. Glory isn't given. Glory isn't easy. Glory is taken.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the CDL playoffs. And again, day 4. We're rolling through this one pretty fast. The trophy on your screen. I'm not sure where we filmed this one, but boy, is that a lovely smoky stage. What an absolute monolith that thing is. A testament to the true grit, the determination, and the downright insanity of some of these players. Toronto Ultra, Dallas Empire going into the domination, tied up 1-1 apiece. Myself and Chance guiding you through this one. My name is Miles Ross. Chance wants to shave his moustache. I told him not to, but as we go into the Dom, mate, I mean, how far can we go? Gunrunner, obviously a big favourite for Dallas Empire, but Ultra, man, current form, nothing to be sneezed at.
I mean, it is one of those things. Again, you already heard my predictions. I was expecting the Dallas 3-0, but Toronto, they just do not have any quit in them. It is a never say die kind of team, and they always just find a way, man. They are so, like, genuinely impressive how good they have consistently able to be these past couple events. And I'm impressed to watch, but obviously domination on Gunrunner. Not a terrible map for either one of these teams. 7-5 record for the Empire, 6-5 for Toronto. So if map 2 is any indication, should be a close one.
Yeah, it should be a close one. Again, the records are tight enough, but recent memory serves me right. The Ultra are looking fine, but Empire, definitely a good pick for them. In towards B we go. Kleenex going to lead the charge. Slip slides right on through the pipes. Will he be able to clean them out? He does have another player on the outside with him, Hugh, as we are both teams just feeling each other out and pushing towards B. Neither really wants to make that first push, and it's going to be on Kleenex to try to find something. Hugh's going to find him. Opening kill goes to Hugh. The battle now raging for that B flag, and Chance again, we're expecting to see this change hands quite a lot. Looking for the overextension already. Even Cammy made his way in the C.
Might be able to make the play as well. That player basically just disappeared from in front of him. What does it look like? But hey, either way, they got the ACs set up. The spawns are going to flip, but Empire, if they can't get the safe flag, this might get kind of bad, kind of fast.
Well, this is getting all kinds of funky. I mean, I think right now we've got Toronto with a decent advantage. They're going to keep A safe. This is beautiful work from them. Dallas on the back foot early on. I think it'd be now an appropriate time to go for an Astro Gaming listen in with Dallas Empire.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on my rock. My rock fan.
He's on rock.
Oh, wait, in the boxes corner, clean out. There's two of them.
I'm gonna wrap back to C.
Yeah,
wrap back to C, dude.
They're like triple stacking.
They're gonna be on me. Yes.
Yeah,
oh, he's on me back left C. He's on the red train.
Is he gone?
Camping the cold train.
We're going C, right?
Yeah, we're going C. Hold
Camp
B.
the fuck out of B.
We're spawning crates. Try and block crates.
I don't know where this guy is C.
He's back C somewhere. Both of you hop and just slay.
Yeah, I'm here. Yo, he's laying down on the train. Block
bands.
He's on the wood box.
Yeah,
right
the boxes. They can still boxes.
Holding
boxes.
Yeah, yo, they're just camping. Yo, remember, mid cut.
Yeah, we're fine. He's just camping the rock.
I got pinch middle.
I smoked him map. I smoked him map. Wait, one guy's still
Kleenex is still, Amy's still back red train on us, guys.
Nick boxes.
One shot.
Oh, one shot on A up front.
I got the set.
Nick is boxes. One shot.
I spawn C, guys. I spawn C.
Oh,
Cammy is still C. Cammy's still C.
A1 on you.
Catch C with me if you can. Cammy's still C somewhere.
I'm going for. Yo, still C.
Where?
Just hop, guys. Hop.
Somewhere
I need over.
One shot.
That's the only one.
I got him. Go B on spawn, guys.
Bathroom play.
Quick.
I'm one shot in there.
What's your quick? What do you?
Where's he going?
Back away, probably. Or control.
I'm looking in her. Nothing in her.
One's mid. 2B. 3B.
Top back, two. One shot coming C. One shot's in.
Two on B.
Two on C. There's gonna be two on C.
Yeah, get
I
needed two.
Oh, what the fuck? I'm on C.
They're gonna be control line.
Bottom right.
Yo, control green mid track. Mid track, so shot.
In bathroom.
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 Toronto Ultra chance. They just seem to be one step ahead of the Empire at every turn here on the Dom.
Yeah, I mean, who needs a B flag, right? Like, they had that AC setup and they had both the flags, and they're like, hey, Empire, ball's in your court. You're the guys that have to make a play, and they were just getting suffocated. And as soon as the C pressure gets alleviated and Empire starts to capture it, well, Toronto were already on the next place. They have the B flag, and now they get the setup that they actually wanted. And you get Cammy to go on flanks and try to find Goku as well. Pulled a nice little disappearing act through the smoke, and Empire, well, forming his B flag, looking to finally get some semblance of control.
That was a great retake, man. It paid their pound of flesh there for Dallas Empire. Now Clay trying to go towards A. And this is the Dallas game that they wanted to have from the start. Spawns have flipped. You're going to see those members of Toronto Ultra spawning on the C side of the map, the right-hand side of the map now. But wow, what an opening first half so far for Toronto Ultra. They were like, hey, check out our A and C game. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. You want to see something pretty cool as well? We'll just go to A-B straight away. Back over towards the AC game we go. And Hugh, he doesn't win it. And without that win, we're going to go back to the AC play.
You got it, right? Like, you already have bodies that are over, like, towards the backside of trains. You got a couple players surrounding A, and frankly, B is kind of open. Toronto Ultra, if they ever need to pull the switch, which the players might do, just coming off respawn, they can just go right to things. But frankly, you just have all 5 players right now just playing on point for the Ultra, who are now, well, making a play potentially on both flags.
We're watching them oscillate between the A and C and the A and B, and now they've just got a little bit of trouble. Look at that number 8. That's so patient, just watching the spawns there from those players of Dallas Empire, bottom of the minimap. He's now going to make the push. As soon as he sees the flags start being captured, now trying to make something happen. Sneaky methods. Doesn't quite get the kill back again. I love the play call there. And again, this is a wonderful first half here from Toronto Ultra here on the Gunrunner Dawn. Spawns in the still on the side of A for them right now. There's a lot of B pressure being felt. Final 30 seconds chance. I mean, it's been a good look from Ultra. They have certainly played this one very well.
Yeah, right now, Empire in these final 20 seconds just making sure that they hold on to the B flag and potentially the C as well, as Cammy's making a hero play on one side, and then as the flood comes in towards the B flag, but maybe just 2 ticks left to come through. Doesn't look like any neutralization is going to happen on B, but I will say Cammy actually was able to pull a little cheeky play over towards the end on C just to buy his team an extra point or 2. And frankly, a beautiful half coming out of the Toronto Ultra. Paying them a different setup that they have to hold. They found a way to execute and just did a wonderful job of not forcing the issue when they didn't have to. As soon as they got control, they just kept it and forced Empire to take these bad gunfights, to force their way onto certain flags. Just a tough path the Empire now have in front of them.
Yeah, a little bit of a climb. Nothing too tremendous. They can certainly get the rebound here, but for Dallas Empire, again, hit this A flag, overextend towards B, and we're going to see number 3. Looks like Clayster might be looking on the defensive here, push towards C. Not trying to let anything go through, but here we go. Illy making his way forward. Does actually delete the charge. Is he going to find that first kill on the Classic? He will, and that looks like B is much safer now. Pipes cleaned out as well. We should see Empire grab this one with no resistance.
And you can see Ultra actually playing a little bit passive, expecting maybe an overextension off the rip towards the C flag, but if not an overextension, Hoop just trying to run him down, and he basically just sprinted into the entire Ultra team. But the good news is, because of his positioning, Toronto Ultra spawned very far out. A bunch of players trying to flood through mid-map. Right now, Empire, they have a spread across the map. They are trying to keep Toronto fairly spawn-trapped.
Yeah, trying to keep him trapped is going to be one thing, but it'd be very interesting to hear now how Toronto Ultra tries to break out this one. Well, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, it is Champs after all. It's time for an Astro Gaming Listen In with Toronto Ultra.
Hugh can be. Clay's still gonna trade.
Yeah, he was rock. I don't know where he went.
Mid-track. Top Greg's nice, well played. Go deep eight, let's go.
Yeah. Made it. Oh, he's already new, bro.
You got one. Nice. Wait, I'm going
go deep. It's one water tower.
We're already. Yeah, go for it. I'll go for it.
Front P3, boxes, Tyler.
Boxes down.
On C.
Yeah. I'm staying P3. Yeah, P3 crate.
I'm one more.
I'm fucking C.
One more. Bathrooms as well.
Wait, there's 3 there?
Nothing. Going back C.
Behind him at C.
Gotta get her.
C dead.
I got the boiler.
One more on mine. Heavy shot C.
They did it.
He's on C on you.
Yeah, with the
go.
Play on C.
He's gonna be.
Last one C. Go back.
Back.
I spawned C.
Go back. Go deep.
P5.
You're my boiler.
P5 dead.
Nick.
On A as well.
Can you guys stay here?
Flank. You're my boiler.
P3. On A as well.
P3 dead.
One on A.
A dead, A dead.
Nice.
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 I'm gonna be. I'm going
He's up.
Chance, you called it. Toronto Ultra's comms, so calm, so chill.
Dude, like, unbelievably so. Like, I know they're playing from their bedrooms, but it's COD champs. But frankly, the calmness, I think, is definitely working out to their benefit, right? It's the same sort of play style where they get a good setup, and you get number 10 and number 8 just posted up in the top corner. They're not forcing it. They don't have to go anywhere. They get the setups that they want, and then they relax and just take the gunfights that they want to take. And it's impressive to see, and they have a nice little 12-point lead.
Nice little 12-point lead. Nice little twosies. Almost make it a threesies for Classic. He's working for this one. Who's going to get him in the end? But finally, the lead starts to sort of read a little bit for Toronto Ultra. Empire did a wonderful job pulling this one back. It's taken a lot of effort. Ultra once again with the good reads and the lovely hold. Still pressuring towards the B flag. Cammy now trying to clean him out, and Nate from Classic's going to get it done. Trying now to clean the B flag. A nice set of kills once again as Cammy and Co clean up by the cold cart. Methods, and it's an all Toronto Ultra kill feed. Wonderful work from them again. 1 minute and 45 seconds now remaining on the clock, Chance. Toronto need a hold.
And with a 20-point lead at nearly that minute-and-a-half mark, it's going to turn into a situation where Empire, they have maybe 10, 15 seconds to get a second flag, or else the game, well, is going to force them to get a triple cap. And, well, the play's being made. Illy over side of A. Has a little bit of teammate support as well, but of course you see Toronto going for the challenge in the final moments. Illy able to take down one and able to capture the point. But while this is going on, Toronto making the play at C. Shotzi trying to be the hero, but even still, I'm pretty sure mathematically Empire are going to need that third flag.
Need the third flag. So that nade from Shotzi's perfect reads on the spawns there for Ultra. Finds the first. Sun goes out. This could be perfect textbook shots in. No more can be had. Methods. Lovely work to win that 1v1 and stop the pressure at C. Now they get the recapture. Over though towards the A flag, and you do have yourself a Kleenex, who's being a real pain in the backside as he managed to get the A neutral. Clay's trying to clean up things, but again at 151 to 136 with less than a minute remaining, it's starting to look nearly impossible, if not impossible at this point. Ultra may have just taken the lead in the series.
And of course, well, you see still 14 with 30 seconds left. The triple cap absolutely going to be necessary. So Clayser, he's going to hightail it over towards C. His teammates might go through the track side of things, but this flag, they're going to need it, and they might have even needed it 10 seconds ago. They have to make a play. They have to get this wipe. And you see Toronto turtle up around this C flag, making sure that they can have that calm, controlled play in the end. And Miles, frankly, it looks like they're going to do it. This setup is just too good.
Once again, I think we've slept on Ultra. They will now, in the next 10 seconds, take the lead here in the series. Cammy made in the living daylights out of his teammates, but it does not matter. Close in the end, but Ultra still edge it out. They will take the lead 2-1.
And I just can't get over how calm these guys are to win, like the triple caps coming in, and they just have the state of mind to post up 2 guys inside of showers, get the nice little swarm, the nades coming out on top of spawns. Like, the game might have seemed super close towards the end, but Toronto knew exactly the type of cushion that they had. They knew the exact setup that they were allowed to get, and everything is just so clean. I know Marky B has these like guys doing stretches on a day-to-day basis, maybe to help with the stress, whatever it's going to be. And again, the comms to me are wild. The gameplay is insane coming out from Toronto Ultra, and just another squeaker of a win that these guys are able to get.
And that's the squeaker. We've had the blowout in the search. It was good at times, and then they managed to close it out in the end. Obviously, the first hard point they lost rather decisively at the hands of Empire. We've had our first squeaker of this series. Will we have a couple more either side? Still, Dallas Empire plenty still left to play for. One more hard point is all Ultra need now for the win. And if we have to go to that game 5, we could see it go the distance. But again, wonderful stuff coming out of Ultra Chance. I mean, from the first half, we touched upon it. It was basically like they had the initiative, they took those first steps, and they never relinquished control. Obviously, the second half, a little bit more Dallas orientated. You can see in that final scoreline. But overall, great stuff coming out of Toronto Ultra.
And I'm just going to harp on it for a bit just because I do think it's impressive. We started at the top of the show, or at least like the top of the segment, just talking about how many close wins Toronto has had in terms of series win, in terms of map win, since the Toronto home series where they won a tournament. One of the most difficult things to do in Call of Duty, especially with 5 players on your team, is to understand all of the communication when everybody's screaming their heads off in those tight moments. But if Toronto is able to just keep this calm, that means in all of these games, the calms are nice and relaxed. Everybody knows what's going on. Everyone's on the same page, and you alleviate that chaos. I think there's something to it. I think that's a big part of the reason why they're having this level of success this late in the year.
Yeah, it's so different to hear like the comms from a team like the London Royal Ravens, where it's just like versus such clarity. Like we can hear almost every single word, and we can almost hear the thought process from Toronto Ultra without listening. So that was great stuff to hear. It been really, really impressive. Dallas as well. Like still, there's a degree of intensity there. There's a lot of purpose behind the words, but it's a lot busier, man. You're absolutely right. It allows those players maybe more room to think and not so much react to what's going on. So hats off plays to them. We're going to go into a hard point just shortly, and I think we've got the bracket ahead of us again. FaZe waiting in the wings. They make it to the next weekend. That's championship weekend coming up. Not this weekend, of course, the one we're in, but next. Very, very exciting start to the FaZe. That series against the Huntsman. Man, we were screaming watching that game. I know Nameless and Pac-Man had a wonderful time. Study was losing his voice backstage as well. And while we did miss our colleagues, we missed the fans. What an experience that would have been to see in person again. We miss you all, Call of Duty fans. We really do. We miss all of you. We miss the passion. We miss the fury. We miss the love. But we're not out of the woods just yet. 2-1 so far for Ultra now versus Empire. We still have Optic Gaming LA versus Mutineers. And of course, the London Royal Ravens up against the New York Subliners down there in the lower bracket. Both of those series, again, the loser is eliminated from the tournament. The winner will advance. And boy, howdy. It's nice to see, we had it for a moment there, all 10 player counts. I was going to say Classic Bale and Kleenex. Looks like Tobias Juhl Johnson is now praying to the deity of his choice. Not sure who that may be, if he's an old gods or a new gods kind of guy, but we'll see how we go, Chance. Hard point coming up next.
And the hard point, again, incredibly interesting. The lay of the land, tail of the tape type thing for the Gunrunner hard point. Basically the same story we had for the Gunrunner domination, like a solid map for both teams, no clear-cut advantage for either one. If the domination was what the 3-4 point game that we had, it might be a similar story, but also something I keep going back to and thinking about in my mind was just that Azir cave that the Empire were able to put themselves together, where they were just able to sort of bully Toronto Ultra out, not let them, get any time, even when they were winning the rotations. And if Toronto Ultra can't clear that up, we're definitely going to be seeing a game number 5, but at the same time, they have bounced back incredibly well since that Azir cave, and Toronto, all's in their court. It's just about executing for what potentially is for them. I don't know what the exact math is. I think these teams at this point are guaranteed like $175K, and I think the winner of this can get that guarantee of $600,000. What's an important one is a valuable one.
It's a very valuable map of hardpoint. Nice starts on either side, kills going either way. Classic not able to get the overextension again towards that favorable spawn side of the map. Illy now really pressuring spawns. This is super aggressive, man. This is so aggressive from Illy. He's way forward. Luckily, his teammates still in those deep positions by that second hardpoint by Depot, so no one will be spawning out. Shotzzy making that front line look a little bit more dangerous, and there is a certain ferocity chance to the play now coming out of Dallas Empire that I like the look of this. This has got Game 5 written all over it early on if they can keep this going.
Absolutely. In the same setup, that Illy was going for. Shotzzy tried the same thing. Cammy, though, very aware of the situation, but either way, on the first hill, 15 seconds isn't bad, right? Like, I think the average for both teams combined is maybe about 20 to 25, and if one team's able to get that chunk, that is great, and then if it's a team that has the spawns for next, even better. Empire about as perfect as it gets. Shotzzy, by the way, again was able to get to that sort of cutoff spot over by trains, and he's able to get at least one kill, and of course, the information to his team. Hey, these guys are coming up crates. You see the communication working perfectly. They knew exactly where to look, and that was a phenomenal first hard point for the Empire.
Amazing to think that a phenomenal hard point only entails 33 points, but they got it done. Cammy just unable to make the break in from the rear. Big kill finally on the clay, but he really made him work for it. Allowed for the reinforcements there, Cute to show up. Meta's now under the smoke coverage, just going to watch the cross. He's able to make his way in through the rear now as well. Stun lands, does connect with Cute and the stun down for the time being. Beautiful shots down range there with the M4. Will find the kill. Finally an open lane now to work with for Ultra to try to make the break and finally break the seal on the hardpoint score, as they have yet to make anything work out. Illy now getting involved. Kleenex trying to find the back entry, can't get it done. Cammy, though, however, has managed to make it in there. The final 20 seconds now, chance on Depot. Could well go the way of the Empire once again.
Maybe the good news for Toronto Ultra is they're able to chip away a few seconds when they got a few bodies inside, and of course got enough kills along the way that the rotation should be good for them. Of course, the bad news, you're down by 70 points, and if you lose this rotation, things might start to spiral out of control, and Empire at least are going to be able to get that far left side spawn. You see Cube is going to pop up on the minimap, and Grim6 winning gunfights like that. The instant break is there in already an 80-point game straight off the rip.
But Crim's going crazy. 12-3 overall. I mean, the same cannot be said. Ultra's getting slayed out of their minds right now. 1-10 for Classic. 4-10 for Bans. It ain't pretty, Chance. It's not so attractive. I mean, what is really going on? What's the big failing point here for Toronto?
I mean, they never were able to get enough pressure, right? Even when they got that slaying out towards this hill, the back spawns were locked up. Crim 6 came in the back, and maybe more importantly, just some of the gunfights these guys have been able to win, ripping off the Toronto Ultra players off of whatever head glitch train station they're going to be able to find nearby. But maybe one final attack, couple players for Ultra trying to force their way inside, maybe not enough to be scrappy, or maybe just enough as Bance is able to buy his team a few more seconds. But either way, it's an 80-point game. Toronto Ultra, this is going to be a tough spot for them to deal with.
A very difficult comeback to mount, but now cargo containers control for Toronto Ultra, at least the two of them for now. But again, the opening crossfire there and the shots from Dallas Empire are going to whittle away the defenses slowly but surely. Kleenex is going to be up next, not a chance. Cut down before he can even get to the top of the boxes. Now Methods managing to get one on the rear, but it's not going to be enough. I mean, right now there is a divine purpose that drives Dallas Empire. The Emperor protects them as they surge forward. And they lock down that hard point, a clean break. Now only a few defenders left to deal with. Kleenex, though, battles his way forward as he managed to get a few more out of this. And the overextension immediately trying to get himself in towards the next hard point. But he does need a little bit of help to get it done. A nice win, but too many Empire players there, not able to get it done.
And that was a huge fight for Toronto Ultra. And when I say huge, I mean difficult fight for them to get even just these, 30 seconds maybe they're able to pull up on this hill. But now the road gets more difficult going forward. Empire, this is a money hill. We saw their setup on P2 is nearly unbreakable. The Ultra were able to get inside for like 10 seconds. Now for the Ultra, down by 70 in this hill. If they do not get a break here, it might be time to call game that early.
At what point can we throw the towel in? We can't do that in this game. Of course we will be seeing that too. Fitting. Meth is now trying to make the break. The back warehouse, a fortress right now, and Dallas Empire have denied access every single step of the way. Classic, the first player to get a little closer, he's going to go down as well. Not a chance. They are kept at the gates as Shoot with a disgusting two-piece. That's his 5th kill in a row, 16-10 overall. Crim with the MP5, ringing shots out across the board, and Shoot with the immediate transition in the middle. We are going to see a decent amount of map coverage right now for Toronto Ultra, but Chance, does it even matter?
I mean, at this point, it is getting difficult. Earlier, he asked me what's going wrong for Toronto Ultra. Well, they're getting outslayed by about 31, 32 kills, and we're what? At the halfway point of the game. Congratulations. First set of rotations are in, and look at this setup the Empire have already been able to get. They trade away 10 seconds of scrap time to make sure that they get the right side of the map spawned. Just thinking long term, it's already a 100-point lead. They already have it set up on this P1 hill. They are doing everything perfectly, but the slaying power, the best thing to look at. Again, we are beyond the plus 30 in the kill column for the Empire. Toronto Ultra, they got to find a second or third switch to flip to even think about getting back into this game.
I'd love to see the stats just for a moment, see how close we are to a potential burrito, if you're picking up what I'm putting down. Shout out to Chipotle for making that one happen, and boy, howdy. We're not doing too great. 22, come on, Crim, step it up, brother. Man's got to eat. 8-21 for Classic. Oh boy, he's really having it. He's not exactly getting a lot of... Oh man, that was indicative of the entire map he's been having. Jesus.
We're getting slammed in his face, man. It's a brutal look. And 8-22, he is feeling it right now. Did have a very nice map too, but this bounce back is going to be tough. And frankly, again, this is Empire just trying to get those guns as hot as possible for what they are definitely thinking about for the map 5. But maybe still, Toronto Ultra, not the worst P1 I've ever seen. It's just so tough to get past these players.
Yeah, this is what Destiny looks like. This is what Game 5 looks like for Dallas Empire. It is on the horizon, and they are dragging time towards it. Shotzzy now in the hard point. I mean, it's horrifying at this point. This is peak Empire. I mean, this is sailing the 7 seas, taking everything from here to the horizon under their name just because they possibly can. Cami now. Toronto Ultra now in Classic. They're going to break in from the side. Possibility to get a bit of time here, but it doesn't even seem to matter. It seems like, again, this is almost like it's written in the stars, man. The COD gods have spoken, and there is nothing it feels like Toronto Ultra can do. Again, never ever say never. Chance hardpoint is a map mode where there's a mode type with game Games can really turn around. Comebacks are possible. You just have to keep the other team at the hard point, and you got to get it done. But at the 2-0 and climbing to 84, Dallas, this is an absolute slaughter.
And it's just so tough. They're losing the 1v1s to get the scrap time in the hill. Crim6 on rotation has been able to pick up 4, and at least 3 of those he was effectively doing by himself. And, well, he does get dealt with, but you can see Toronto Ultra actually, well, I take that back, do have quite a bit of pressure pushed out. You got Classic right now that's trying to be the cutoff man, and Toronto Ultra have been able to stabilize this hill. Of course, they're going to have to do this maybe 3 or 4 times in a row, and they got to deal with Shotzi on the flank who's able to pick up 2. And every single player taking their turn for a 2-piece Empire, just trying to run it out and beat him down and take him into the game 5.
Illy! What a rampage this is! 4 kills! Where's the 5th? Give him the knife! Illy, you savage, you monster!
Can't get any more. Classic finally gets it, but my. It is disgusting. It is ruthless aggression. Dallas Empire, a statement. I mean, if you're Toronto Ultra right now, I mean, for the last, 2.5 minutes, I'd be talking about search and destroy strats going into the final map. I'd just be thinking, all right, so what we're going to be doing for break. Here's what we're going to be doing in these situations. This is a rough one. But Ultra, never say die. They're not out of this just yet. Cargo containers once again. We saw the breaks from behind were great from the Dallas Empire. We do have number 9. Cammy's going to be in control of Warehouse going forwards. The possibility for a decent string of moments here. They're all dead. That was it. Chance, I was like, this is it. That's 1 more kill. It's done. It is finished. Give us the game 5. Dallas Empire. What a statement.
The quickest route to a game 5 I think we have seen from a Gunrunner hardpoint. What was it? Incredibly close domination, and honestly towards the end a pretty close search and destroy as well. The switch has been flipped for the Dallas Empire. The hardpoint, they have clearly taken some time putting some work in on it, and just a fantastic game the whole way around. I mean, I'll try to do the math in my head real quick. Has to be again maybe plus 35, 40 kills just in the slaying column alone. It seemed like every single player on the Empire was winning every single one-on-one. And not even that, how many 2 pieces or 3 pieces do we see back to back to back from every single player taking turns from Dallas? And again, the guns for them now are as hot as they could possibly be for the map 5.
Map 5, search and destroy. The last map we will see today before we can welcome in another Sunday. And wow, what a series this is shaping up to be already. Duty ends in death for the Empire, and these boys have not given up. That could have been a win for Toronto. They could have gone quietly 3-1 and just made a lower bracket run. Nay, they said. And now we roll into game 5. And we come back after this break. The very exciting conclusion to this series. Dallas Empire, Toronto Ultra. 1 winner after this one. See you after the break.
Want to play Search and Destroy like a pro? Here's some S&D recon from the U.S. Air Force. Piccadilly's a unique map. There's a lot of building cover around the perimeter, but most of the action happens in the wide open streets. There are a bunch of scattered vehicles you can use as cover, but be careful. Some might just explode. This map's long sightlines and environmental hazards make long-range weapons and explosives especially deadly. So, grab a sniper rifle and a grenade, because we're going for first blood. If you're on offense, pull out a sniper rifle and run straight for the scaffolding. This is a great vantage point to catch any members of the defense crossing the bomb site A or B. Let's see how a pro, like Simp, does it. If you're not quite savvy with the scope, run straight out of spawn towards this street light with the frag grenade. Line up these two posts, run, jump, and throw. If you manage to land your grenade near this G, you'll be able to catch anyone on the defense hanging back with snipers of their own. If you're on defense, check out how GodRx works the sniper on B. As soon as he spawns, he runs straight into the bookstore to catch any players making a quick break for bomb site B. From here, he can even catch any enemy sniper's position on the scaffolding. If any players make it all the way to the ambulance, you can toss a frag grenade right at it and blow up anyone lurking behind cover. If you want to catch them crossing to A, give this a shot. Run out of spawn, look to the right, and aim towards this building. This is a common path to get to A, so the enemy might drop a smoke grenade for cover. But if you can predict the enemy's timing like Wuskin can, you might just get lucky and find a pick anyway. There's your S&D recon for Piccadilly. Good luck out there.
Your S&D Recon sponsored by the US Air Force, of course, teasing what will be a wonderful Game 5 in this series. Tied up 2-2. This is it. This is to advance further into the bracket. This is to send one team to the lowers. And again, the prize pool jump chance, what is it? It's like you go from
175 to 600K.
600K,
I'm pretty sure,
yes.
but definitely double check me.
It's a sweet chunk of change for this team's. Again, the win will have to come. But the blood, sweat, and the tears that we'll get through to get to the end there, mate, is going to be something special. And again, we looked at the map count here, and we look at the records, and Dallas Empire certainly with the advantage. But Toronto Ultra, I mean, they've got stats of their own to back up the solid performance here on Piccadilly, Chance.
Piccadilly is insane. You have Cammy with a 1.56 on the map throughout the year. We have seen his sniper light things up, and that is the third highest overall KD out of all the players in league on this map. And Draws is one of those players ahead of him that's only played it twice. So Cammy's played it a ton and still has that high of a KD. That is ridiculous. And honestly, Vance not too far behind him. He's throwing left like a 1.37 as well. So Vance and Cammy have been running the show. This is at least Vance's homeland. He knows the area very well. But even in spite of that, Dallas, of course, 7-3. They're phenomenal at it as well. And I'm hoping, fingers crossed, we get an electric sniper battle between Cammy and Illy.
Oh, fingers crossed, mate. I don't think you have to cross anything. I think it's definitely going to happen. I think, frankly, we're going to have it. Here we go. Game 5. I'm in towards B. We've seen plenty of Piccadilly so far here at playoffs. We know the nades, we know the snipe routes, we know what to watch for. And the Shotzzy, caution to the Whipping. He's managed to sneak through. Cammy with that snipe, a little late, a lovely nade from Hugh. Perfect read, bombs going down, it's all going swimmingly now for Empire.
You talk about the best possible first blood to get, by the way. You take down the sniper, that means you have a lot less pressure, a little bit more wiggle room to move up the map, but Classic able to pick up one, and now the odds, well, going to be tied up 3-3. Placer, well, that's another one to the list.
Vanstrom just reposition, get an angle on this player of that bomb site. Picks up the AX-50, now going to be able to utilize that. Again, look at the positioning right now from Dallas Empire. One player on the bomb, two players on the extremities of the other map. The other side of it, and you can see Shotzzy, he's close to the bomb site. You've got what? Clayster sitting up the top. Illy's going to be there by construction. It's a perfect pinch, it's perfect execution, and it's round 1 on the board for Dallas Empire.
And that is a filthy setup, and honestly, in my mind, that is a setup designed specifically for the Toronto Ultra. You land a nade at the guy who's sniping's feet, and as soon as you take him down, there is 37 angles now. You don't have to worry about exactly where you're standing, and not only that, you called it perfectly. The two players so distant in the back are so hard to deal with, it's basically impossible to go and clear that out. Amazing round one.
Dallas with the deep playbook. Cammy now watching the cross. Two players make their way through the interior of that building there, but again, thanks to X-Ray, we can see them. Players, of course, have no idea. A hunch, intuition, if you will, that tacit knowledge garnered from thousands and thousands of hours practice on these maps.
Honestly, this might be Toronto playing off of like tendencies, right? They had a ton of passive setups on Petro, and Dallas just sort of walked into them. This time, though, there is no dice, no first bloods on board just yet.
And this is a standoff. Bombs, a little bit pensive from Ultra. The back and forth they go, waiting for the opportunity. The cross there. Dual smokes. Trophy system down. It's definitely going to be a plant here, but there's the gunfire rattling away in the distance. First blood goes to Shotzi. Huke now trying to get involved. Into the smoke he goes. Fearless, truly. Catches the silhouette of a player. Slides through. Little bit of backup, but Shotzi finds two. Methods battling from the foxhole down there. Manages to find one. Shotzi with beautiful shots down there at range. And it's going to be Bance now in a world of hurt. Goes down to the pistol. And that is a 4-0 on the kills. And a bomb defuse that will be a very easy one at that. Dallas with another great round.
And what I thought was playing off at tendencies was instead waiting for the trophy system. And he saw the strat coming out for Toronto. As soon as you make sure you get that clean coverage to get the bomb down, you take the opportunity. Fortunately for them, they just got slaughtered on the mini retreat that they had. And you saw that Dallas, they knew exactly where everyone was going to be set up. Methods down low. Shotzi went to hunt for him. And even if he doesn't find the kill, his teammates are certainly going to be there. And that is two phenomenal back-to-back rounds. Still no sniping yet, or at least not a ton of crazy kills. Sure will be a lot to see.
Yeah, we'll get there, right? We'll get there, yeah? Who knows? But again, Dallas are showing us some smooth moves. And once again, seeing that B push now from Shotzi. He quickly gets there, gets towards the smoke to work with Billy with the snipe now, trying to watch those players move in towards that B site. Classic with a great first blood. Eliminates the sniper. Play. Easily answers back, makes it a deuce. And now, slow and steady reposition. The bomb is still making its way in towards B for Dallas Empire. The defenders are there. Cammy watching the cross still. And this is a bit of a shuffle. Huke with a snipe now. Not something we see often. Picks up Illies and gets it involved. Are Dallas able to make much here on the approach? Again, the guns, they're ringing out for Toronto. And it's close, but no cigar chance.
Swing and a miss, but that bomb is currently getting planted over towards B. You see Methods actually did give up the shop control, and well, Crim6 finds a pick. That bomb goes down. This is not an easy site to defuse from. The shop control being in the hands of Methods is nice. He's just taking the time to clear it out. Now they need to push.
Oh, that was a big win from Cammy. The trade there from Huke. 2v2. Kleenex and Methods. Methods with that high shot position. Kleenex, though, he's down and dirty on the streets of London, trying to find these players placed to lying in wait, and that's going to be the shots. Oh, Kleenex! Oh, my! And Huke comes in for the two-piece! Dallas, never say die. 3-0. What a round!
Whoa! Ooh, God, I missed the crowd, but so good. The communication, of course, on point. Clayster sees it and hears it coming. Huke there to be the savior in the wings, covering the old veteran who couldn't finish the first gunfight himself. But job well done. Clayster, of course, even finding that pick on Classic just to even up the odds, just to make Methods panic just a little bit, right? And force his position to back down. Either way, 3-0 lead for the Empire. Full steam ahead.
Full steam ahead. Cammy. Oh, misses the jump shot. Clay's got eyes on plenty here, and he's not going to lose that gunfight once again. The Kleenex gets it done. Shots here. Classics. Man, he's dead. He's toast there. Fresh mag. Hold the line once again. Illy. Patience pays off. It's a clean 3 set of kills right now. Toronto Ultra, where have you gone? A clean round from Dallas. 4-0. What's going on, Chance?
Sometimes close, but more often than not in this game, just outright dominant. I have no idea what kind of hype speech or what was said in between map 3 and 4. But Empire, you talk about just like putting your foot on their throat, just trying to put them down. Ultra have had no room to breathe at all in these maps. They have just been getting dominated. Need some sort of a bounce back, but frankly, it is tough to deal with these players. Shotzzy 5-1, Placer 6-1 to his name. Bance still looking for his first kill.
Lovely shot from Ellie. Good for trade back there once again from Cammy. The snipe's really coming to play. Dallas have yet to 6-0 a team in Search and Destroy. And Cammy, oh boy. That would have been something special. And this could be the first time we see Dallas get it done, but a nice round there. A lovely 2 kills from Cammy with the AX50. And keep that stat line safe. Cammy with a 3rd. Now Placer. He and Hugh in a lot of trouble. Kleenex will prevent the ace. However, we do see those 4 kills come through from Cammy. A magnificent round from the man who loves himself some Piccadilly.
Shades of bold as well. I mean, at the start of this round, right? You're down 4-0. The 2 guys that have the best KDs on the team, the 1.56 for Cammy, the 1.3, whatever the hell it was for Bance. And those players were 1-4 and 0-4 respectively. That was a necessary bounce back for Cammy. Maybe to start feeling himself just a little bit more, start hitting some of those shots, try to get into that groove. Able to pick up 4 in that round. Cammy may have arrived.
Yeah, Dallas' execution has been on point. They have not failed. When it comes to making a plan, it's going to work out. Can he thwart that now with his defensive hold in the slide? Oh no, he misses the easy ones. Oh no! Got out of trouble pretty quick. Damn, that construction site. That little nib thing. Whoa, I've had enough. So's Bands. We'll see you in the next round, brother. Whoa. Hugh, still going, chance. 5-2. Can Cammy now pull out the magic? Try to get his team back into this round. The answer is no. 1 more kill at the hands of Illy. Match point, Dallas Empire. Wow.
For anyone that may have slept on Toronto Ultra, Empire certainly didn't. Instead of sleeping on them, they're just dealing with them. Snipes on point, and honestly on the side of Cammy, right, those are some shots that you can just not afford to miss. Not a Call of Duty champs, and well, Illy isn't missing anything, not even his own teammates. If he shoots a bullet, it will find a home. And Empire now just 1 round away from what has turned into 2 of the most dominant maps we have seen, potentially this entire tournament.
Here we go. We're in on A. Extremely fast. Trophy goes down. The mere fact that trophy hit is great news, though, for Toronto Ultra. Kleenex has had enough of this. The Great Dane surges forward. Placer goes down in a hail of gunfire from the side as the 3 C's of Ultra clean up their kills. Crim goes down as well. Bance yet to really get involved in this on Illy with the AX50. Bang! The round is over. 5-2. Ultra now mounting the comeback.
Match aggression with the aggression, and that is the type of decision making from the Ultra. You have been getting bullied out, and someone still makes the play call. Let's just take it to them, match them over at the site, and try to start to turn things around. So many maps in the past few weeks, Toronto have been able to squeak their way by and win these close games. That is the only option that they have left, trying to come up from the pits of hell.
Keep climbing. Whatever hell you're going through, keep going. Cammy, just delayed, almost. I mean, he's uncharacteristically a little slow here, and he did have eyes on another there, but just there's a degree of antsiness and plays like that. Shotsy, tried and true, top shot, catches these players out. Illy once again. This could be it. 5-3. The numbers dwindling. Cammy, got to bring that AX50 to the party, mate. You've got to get involved. Your team desperately need it. And that doesn't help. A shot in from the side. The AX50 of Illy there. The sniper round rings out across the streets of London. And it is panic as Toronto Ultra now are staring down the barrel of defeat. And with that shot, I think we can almost call it. Kleenex going for it with all he's got. Methods now with a hipfire up top. Able to do a little bit of damage there on a Shotzzy, but Crim in the center of the map now. In this 2 versus 2, this commentator may have called it a little early. Kleenex now. A 1 versus 3. He's panicked, he's running, he's hoping for something special, and nothing will come. Dallas Empire get it done in Game 5. 6-2. And what a dominant final round that was. The stamp of approval. The Empire will continue.
Put a stamp on that game, send it by way of Canada Air. Take him down, and Bance, unfortunate for him, throws up the James Bond for the L. Not the best look, but Dallas instead just looked different. They are on their way to try to take down an Atlanta FaZe team that also looks elite, but that is just the ultimate flip getting switched, right? You lose a pretty devastating St. Petrograd S&D 6-4, but you get bullied out for a bit. You're down by the domination. You lose a tight one by 3 or 4 points, and then you just turn things around. The hard points, by the way, for those that have forgotten, the Gunrunner is dominant on that map as you're ever going to see. Azir Cave, the first time Dallas Empire win that map the entire year, it became a necessity for them to be able to win the series in the Game 5 fashion. A hell of a series, Miles, to close out the day.
Hell of a series, brother. Hell of a series to close out the day. The magic seems to run out. That special sweet syrup that the Toronto Ultra boys were able to just squeak through those wins seems to run out for now. But alas, a big win there from Dallas. They can still make that run in the lower bracket. But for Dallas, man, those respawns were mean. They were furious, Chance. Like that was a real sight to behold at times there. And again, the playbook there on Piccadilly, I think they just read Ultra from start to finish, man. They had a strat from the get-go. They were making hard reads. They were knowing positions there with Cammy Sniper. They shut him down immediately. Great stuff. Anyway, we've got our scuff play of the game now. It's going to be round 3 from that search and destroy. And again, Dallas, it was what, 4 straight before anyone managed to get involved?
It was 4 straight, and they were just all so clinical, right? And especially this one, you already see Crim6 is able to get just that extra man advantage. You get the 4 versus 3, and it's just a pretty suffocating game from top to bottom. Cammy, though, does put on the gunny, but of course the trades that come out and just a dominant performance from start to finish. And even when things get dicey, even when maybe Empire show a crack and make a mistake, Hugh comes in the wings, picks up 2 kills, and just makes sure that nothing gets by. Very clean game, a clean series from the Empire. That is a hell of a winners finals that we have in front of ourselves.
Oh, winners finals already looking beautiful. FaZe versus Empire. Set your clocks, friends. It's going to be one hell of a weekend. Still, a little bit of Call of Duty still left to play tomorrow. We still have to set the remainder of the stage, but again, that's going to be all the games for today. Huntsman and Ultra, they're sitting in the lower bracket awaiting the winners of OGLA, the Florida Mutineers, the Royal Ravens, and of course the New York Subliners there at the bottom of your screen. And again, those are all elimination matches. Lose those, and the tournament is done. But for Ultra, man, close but no cigar. Those search and destroys, got to get back to the drawing board just somewhat. Again, they do have a little bit of time to work with just before those games start out. I mean, they maybe get one scrim before they will have to play that matchup again, the winner of Ravens versus Subliners. But Chance, what a day this has been, man. Like,
what a day and what a week, right? Like 40% of the series that we've had have been Game 5s. Like we've always said, search and destroy wins championships, and that's going to be those Game 5s because we are getting more and more of those as this tournament goes on. So these teams need to be on point. Everyone that has now fallen or started in the losers bracket, it is a tough road ahead as there are a ton of sharks swimming down in those depths.
Oh, those depths again, real murky and very dangerous indeed. The schedule for tomorrow's action, again, we're not quite done here with the CDL playoffs. One final day remains before we can have it towards that championship weekend. This is it. A schedule presented by the US Army. Subliners versus Royal Ravens up first. Mutineers, OGLA shortly after that, and then the winner of the New York and London series will be playing Ultra. And of course, our CDL game day presented by Game Fuel, that final match of the day, and what a banger that is shaping up to be. The Huntsman versus either the Florida Mutineers or Optic Gaming LA. We'll see if OGLA can continue this storied run. It may be written in the books from them already. We saw what 100 Thieves did last year on Black Ops 4 from losers round 1 all the way to the finals. Can they get it done here under a slightly new banner? Again, Slasher leading the charge for OGLA. What a day of Call of Duty we have lined up for you tomorrow. That is all from today, I'm afraid. We hope you've enjoyed it, whether you're in the United Kingdom and you're going to bed, or if you're in Europe and it's way too late for you right now, or if you're in Australia, you just woke up and you missed all the good stuff. Go back through the VODs, check it out. Believe me, it's all sick. It's all very sweet. Or if you're here in the North American continent where you can basically go and enjoy yourself some dinner, I'd be jumping on some Warzone, quite frankly. Chance, it has been a treat, my friend. Any sort of major memory moments from today?
Oh, God. I don't know. Probably just that like Atlanta FaZe Chicago match was probably on fire, right? Because Dallas just made it maybe a little bit too easy towards the end for the spiciness, but that was just a series. 2 juggernaut teams going at it, legends and fresh bloods, and it goes down to the round 10 in the search and destroy, a near 1v2 for one player, the clutch from another. That series was definitely one for the ages.
Definitely one for the ages. Well, that, of course, winners final is going to be one for the ages as well. Dallas Empire going up against Atlanta FaZe. I don't know where to put these two teams right now. We saw how close the series was. Atlanta FaZe going up against the Chicago Huntsmen was so close. I mean, this one could be the same. I do not see I do not see the Dallas Empire having the same kind of like runaway success that they had against Toronto Ultra as they would against the Atlanta FaZe. I just don't see it being the case, Chance. But I mean, I don't know where to predict tomorrow's match. Oh, sorry, that winners bracket match. I've got no idea where to put either of those teams. It's going to be an incredible show.
I mean, I would still say for my money, right? Like, I still think Dallas Empire is the team that plays this game the best. And I said you have to play perfectly to beat them. If there was any team that had the talent and skill to take them down, FaZe is the team that is custom built to do it. It's going to be a banger of a match. And of course, one of my favorite things about the entire situation, they get a week to prepare specifically for each other. They're going to know the third team or the fourth team, whatever it's going to be, that shows up next weekend. And all of that extra preparation time, that means the search and destroys are going to be incredible to watch. All of these little details going to be tailor-made, and I'm excited for it, Miles. But of course, one major day left tomorrow where it's nothing but elimination matches from top to bottom.
Glory isn't given, brother. Glory is taken. It's taken over a week, and it's taken them the big banger of a weekend, of course, August 29th to 30th. I mean, it's interesting to see that the series, FaZe have obviously got the advantage over Dallas Empire thus far in the CDL, but here it's champs, man. I mean, anything can happen, and I wonder, we always tend to see that real deep run when it comes to COD champs. I wonder if that's honestly going to be the same case here. I mean, who do you see from the lower bracket making the run? Could OGLA, honestly, I think they're the squad for me right now. Could they honestly go, through the next squads, make their way to the Huntsman, potentially beat the Huntsman, then have to play Dallas or FaZe, like to go all the way? I just think it would be unbelievable, but I could truly see it happening. And it's almost like this weird fairy tale finish for a really, really stinking year for OGLA. To turn it around now is poetic.
I mean, the great option for them. You can make an argument for any of these teams, right? Toronto Ultra, obviously incredibly close to the top teams. They won 6 matches in a row against all the best teams in the world before this one, where they just fall short. They can make a run. You have Optic as an option. The Subliners have looked fantastic as well. They could go on a tear. And of course, the Hunt. Like, none of these teams can be overlooked at this point, right? Everyone has really started to hit their final form. All of these teams are at the best they have been the entire year. I'm not placing my bets in any one direction because everyone at this point is capable.
Truly capable indeed to go all the way. And again, just thinking about London. London have come close, but no cigar with a few of the teams throughout the year. But, mate, who knows? Who truly knows? Again, those brackets, those perfect brackets, I think no more. I think none of them are even eligible to win that perfect bracket anymore. But I still think there are folks out there who may or may not have been calling this one. I'd love to see those brackets. Tweet us both, actually. We'd love to see exactly where you are at with those predictions. But I think a couple of predictions went out the windows today. Again, Chance and I, we did not see this one coming. I thought it was going to be a 3-1. You thought it was going to be a 3-0. It was a banger. Again, if you've just missed this one, it's the end of the day, obviously, but you can, of course, go back through the VODs, good old YouTube VODs, and catch all that action. We do have our interview coming up shortly after this one, but again, myself and Chance, we're going to just carry you through this for the next few moments. And again, mate, has been a wild day. That FaZe versus Huntsman series was an incredible one, nonetheless. But I mean, honestly, for me, I just thought it was nice to see, Paris put up a real show, try to put up a real show towards the end there. We had to say a fond farewell to them. I think London, they're another squad that they just want to try to right the wrongs of what has been a very, very difficult year. And I just wonder if they've got the metal to go the distance. I think that lower bracket run becomes a lot tougher. New York Subliners are still a team that, again, last-minute, last-ditch attempts to try to change their fate. They almost managed to make it, all the way. Obviously, the competition they faced there in the Chicago Huntsmen and the winners bracket was a little too much, but anyone can take this one, Chance. Anyone really can. I mean, I'm trying to think now of, no one has ever managed to go from losers and actually win the whole thing, but we could potentially see that here with the way that this format has changed, because it's best of 7. So instead of having to win 2 best of 5s, it's kind of it's a little different.
7 or best of 9?
Has it been 9? I'm bad with numbers. It's best of 9. Oh, actually, no, I take that back. It's best of 9 then. I don't know.
I mean, you're making me nervous. Now I'm doubting myself. I would have said best of 9, but if it's best of 7, that's fine. It's more maps. It is definitely more maps that they're going to have to play. It is definitely a switch up. And I mean, the number of long distance losers, champs runs that we have seen. Envy is the classic example. 100 Thieves from last year is a classic example. Every single time, some team in losers, obviously because it has to go this way, but ends up just making some sort of ridiculous run. The potential for that is obviously there, but that's just a ton of Call of Duty left to play. A lot of teams are going to get eliminated tomorrow. tomorrow that we're going to be able to watch. And frankly, Miles, I know we have an interview to look forward to. I really hope it's Clayster. I want to figure out how the hell he managed to fall off the map in this game of all games, and not even on like an Azir cave. Like he fell off on Petrograd of all things.
Yeah, he basically.
It is Clayster. Let's go.
It is Clay. Dude, we're going to find out. Chance, you got your wish, man. Lando with our PlayStation instant reaction with Clayster. Lando, take it away.
It's your instant reaction brought to you by PlayStation. I'm Lando, and joining me is Clayster from the Dallas Empire. Clay, you guys managed to get it done there in the Game 5. It was a grueling series to kind of, to say the least, but you guys looked absolutely different in that Game 4 and Game 5. Considering the team's history, right? 5 world championships across the lineup in total, the team's strength in a mode like Search and Destroy throughout the season, does your confidence as a team raise as the series gets to a Game 5 situation, considering the experience this lineup has?
Oh, 100%. I think that the longer a series goes on, the more confident I get. I trust our group of guys in Game 5s more than anybody else. I trust us in those clutch situations. I trust us when our backs are up against the wall.
You know, Clint, this was a lineup, to kind of start the season that at times was doubted, right? The way the regular season started, I know you guys have obviously talked a lot about launch weekend yourselves, but there are questions on yourself and Krim. There were questions on the young guys specifically. Does it feel good to continually silence the doubters, or is that something that you hold on to until the job is done?
I honestly don't pay too much mind to it. I know what my own head, like what is going on in my own head. I know how good I am. I know what I bring to a team. All of my teammates have told me this, and it's not something like I'm just full of myself. Like they're all like, yeah, we love when you do this. We love when you do that. So honestly, we might not have been playing well. We've won 3 tournaments this year. We're the 2nd seed. We're now on the winners finals at champs. So, whatever they want to say, they can say it, because obviously whatever we're doing is succeeding, and really that's all that matters is succeeding each and every tournament that we play in.
Am I allowed to ask you how the falling happened in the middle of the series?
Yeah, so I was playing a spot that we came up with on the fly, and it's like a yellow ambulance on the very back corner of the map to where you can see down the street. And I was trying to run backwards to flowers, and I fell off the van and got trapped in a van corner. So I didn't fall off the map. It actually went 3, 2, 1 and then killed me. So I got to at least have one of those every champ. So at least I got it out of the way.
Well, there you go, Twitter. There you go, Reddit. Everyone who wants to know, that's the answer. Really quick, Clay, before I let you go, how are those predictions looking, by the way? Still perfect?
Oh, yeah, I think I'm literally 10 for 10. Once I'm done competing, I need to go hit the betting sites or something like that, because I know who's going to win every time.
There you go, man. Well, that was your instant reaction brought to you by brought to you by PlayStation. Clayster, thanks so much for joining me, man, and congrats again on the victory.
Yeah, man, thanks for having me on, and thanks for everybody supporting us. Let's go!
Absolutely. Well, folks, day 4 of CDL playoffs has officially come to a close, and there is still a lot to chat about. When we come back after the break, it's Lottie, Nameless, and Pac-Man breaking down all the action.
Gilbert on the flank. It's going to be Clayster. Hey, Clayster's going to get bumped. 4 going to drop 3. We have ourselves a new champ. It's the Dallas Empire with their 2nd home series win.